Okay, you've solved one-step equations. Now we're going to learn how to solve two-step equations. So let's begin. We have 125 plus 3x equals 155. So you're used to just having 3x equals 155 or 125 plus x equals 155. This time we've got a combination of things. Something very important. I mentioned to you earlier in an earlier video that algebra is all about working backwards. And you're used to doing PEMDAS to solve things in arithmetic. But that's working forward to be able to solve arithmetic problems. But we're going to be working backwards. So we're going to be working in the opposite direction, which means that we're going to be doing SADMEP. So on each one of the slides, we're going to have this over here on the side, SADMEP. That means that we take care of subtraction and addition before we take care of division and multiplication. So let's begin our problem here. What do we see? We see a plus 125 here. You don't see that plus there, but it's there. It's understood when it's not showing. So you've got a plus 125, so that's addition. And then we've got positive 3 times x, which is multiplication. So we've got two things here. We've got addition and multiplication. We take care of addition first. So let's draw a line indicating our equal sign. We go minus 125 because the opposite of adding 125 is subtracting 125. We've got to do it to both sides of the equal sign. 125's cancel each other out, and you're left with 3x equals 125 from 155 gives us 30. Now we've got multiplication by 3. The opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3 on both sides. And that leaves us with x equals 10. Now let's check our answer. We've got 125 plus 3 times, and instead of x we're going to put 10, equals 155. That's 125 plus 30 equals 155, and 155 equals 155. Once again, I want to remind you that more than likely each time that I do this I'm going to get it right because I've been doing this for a long time. But this is new to you, so it's very important that you do your check and you don't take it lightly. You do it the way you're supposed to do it. You actually do all the addition and everything, and make sure that you get it right, because that's how you ensure that your answer is correct. Okay, we've got 4x minus 7 equals 3. So this time we can see that we have multiplication by 4, which will be here, and we've got a negative 7 or a minus 7, so that's subtraction. And so we're going to take care of subtraction before we take care of multiplication. So we add 7 to both sides because the opposite of subtracting 7 is adding 7. So we put a 7 on both sides of the equation. Draw a line indicating a new step. That leaves us with 4x. These cancel each other out, and we're left with equals 10. And so now we divide by 4 on both sides because the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. And we do that on both sides of the equation. And that leaves us with a canceled out 4's here. It gives us x equals 10 over 4. But we don't want to leave it like this because we see that both of them are divisible by 2. So we can change that to equal 5 over 2. Alright, now I want you to pause the recording and look, we've got addition of 1 and multiplying by 2g. So we've got addition and multiplication. Now pause the recording and see how you do on this one, and then get back with me. Alright, so we've got positive 1. We want to subtract 1 from both sides. Draw a line indicating the equal sign. These cancel each other out. You're left with 2g equals, same signs, add and keep, so it gives us negative 8. We're multiplying by 2, so we divide by 2 because the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. And that leaves us with g, because these cancel each other out, equals negative 4. Did you get that answer? Good job. Alright, this time we've got y divided by 4. So we come over here and mark division, and we've got plus 4. So we've got addition, and we're going to take care of addition before we take care of division. So that means we're going to do minus 4 on both sides of the equal sign. Add our line indicating a new step. These cancel each other out. You're left with y over 4 equals 4. Now we've got division by 4. The opposite of division by 4 is multiplying by 4 on both sides. New step. These cancel each other out, and you're left with y equals 16. Alright, now it's your turn. What do we have here? We have division by 5, and we have addition of 8. So now you pause the recording and see how you do on this one. Alright, so we've got z divided by 5 plus 8. We're going to take care of addition first, so we do minus 8 and minus 8 on both sides of the equal sign. That leaves us with z over 5 equals 16 minus 8 is 8. Now, we've got division by 5, so we're going to multiply by 5 because the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. So we do that on both sides of the equation. These cancel each other out. We've got a new step. So we got z equals, and 8 times 5 is 40. Alright, ooh, fraction. Okay, let's see. Don't let fractions scare you, okay? We've got, what operation do you see here? This is 2/3 y. So 2/3 times y. So we've got multiplication by 2/3, and we've got addition of 6. So we're going to take care of the addition first. So that means we're going to go minus 6 on both sides. Draw our line indicating the equal sign so that we can always make sure that we're doing it to both sides. 15 minus 6 gives us 9 equals 2/3 y. These cancel each other out. Now, with multiplication by a fraction, what you can do, the inverse operation of multiplying by a fraction is multiplying by the reciprocal or the inverse of that fraction. So we turn it over, and instead of being 2/3, it's 3/2. That's what we do on both sides of the equation. So now we draw our line. The 2 and the 2 cancel out, the 3 and the 3 cancel out, and you're left with y equals 3/2 times 9 is 3 times, well, let's come over here and do it. 3/2 times 9 over 1. That gives us 3 times 9 is 27. 2 times 1 is 2. And we come over here and we go 27 divided by 2. That goes 1 time. Bring down the 7. That goes 3 times. With 1 left over, so that gives us 13 and 1/2. So our answer is 13 and 1/2. Or it would have been okay with me if you left it as 27 over 2. Okay, now it's your turn. We've got 7 plus 3/4 x equals 10. What do we have going on here? We have addition of 7, and we have multiplication by 3/4. So you see, well, I'm sorry, we got multiplication by 3/4. So we got addition and multiplication. You're going to take care of addition first and then multiplication. So let's see what you come up with and get back with me. So pause the recording and work this problem. Okay, so we've got 7 plus 3/4 x equals 10. We're going to take care of the addition first. So we do minus 7 on both sides because the opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. There's our line indicating our new step and our line indicating the equal sign. These cancel each other out, and you're left with 3/4 x equals 3. So now the inverse operation of multiplying by 3/4 is to turn it over and multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? So we multiply by 4/3 on both sides. These cancel each other out. New step, x equals 3 times 4/3. 3/1 times 4/3. Threes cancel each other out, and you're left with 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 1 is 1, or just 4. Okay, now sometimes it'll be a matter of simplifying things first when you're doing two-step or multi-step equations. Okay, this time what we've got to do is we've got 6x and 2x in the problem, and what we want to do is simplify it. So we take the 6x and the 2x and we add them together, and we get 8x plus 4 equals 36. Now we've got a multiplication and we've got addition. We take care of addition first, so we do minus 4 on both sides, and that gives us 8x. These cancel each other out, equals 32. Now we're going to divide by 8, because the opposite of multiplying by 8 is dividing by 8. Got a new step line. These cancel each other out, and you're left with x equals 4. Alright, your turn. Pause the video and try this one, and then get back with me. Okay, so we've got 8y and negative 3y. 8y and negative 3y. So we go 8 minus 3, that gives us 5y minus 12 equals negative 8. We do plus 12 because the addition comes first, so we do plus 12 on both sides of the equal sign. That leaves us with 5y. These cancel each other out, equals positive 12 and negative 8. Different signs, get the difference between the two, and keep the sign of the bigger number. Now, on both sides of the equation, now we have to divide by 5, because we're multiplying by 5, and the opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. These cancel each other out, and you're left with y equals 4/5. Now it's time for you to do some practice.